I just bought a new Dollhouse Kit, the Vermont Farmhouse Junior. But before I start building, I need to make sure I have the proper tools and I need to choose the right glue for each step to avoid the most common mistakes. Hello, my crafty dolls. Welcome to my craft room. I am Grandma Katie and I am so glad you're here. So this is episode 2 of my Victorian Farmhouse Junior start to finish build series. So if you have not watched part 1, we went shopping for our dollhouse kit and all of our accessories. So go ahead and check that out if you want to follow along with me. So today we are going to talk about all of the materials that we're going to need, all the tools. And guys, it's a good thing we saved over $100 on our dollhouse kit because most of the accessories and the building materials we need and the tools tend to cost just as much as the dollhouse kit. But once you have all of these tools in your arsenal, you can continue to use them over the years and it really is not going to go to waste. So let's pick through everything you're going to need when you start doing your dollhouse. Now, all the tools that I'm using, everything is going to be listed in my description box below. So throughout this episode and throughout my whole series, you can follow along with me down there and make sure you get the tools that I am using. So first of all, you are going to need some good painting tools. And when we do the outside walls for our dollhouse, you really want to use a really good brush. Don't skimp out. And I'm using a 1.5 brush, and that is going to be good for painting the sides of our walls. Now, if you want to paint the walls and not wallpaper, or you want to paint the ceiling, I'm going to use a roller. So you're going to get a really nice, smooth finish when you're doing that. Tape. Now, our instructions say that we need to use really, really sticky tape. But since I am going to be wallpapering as I build my house, I don't want my tape to take off my wallpaper. So we're just going to need to use a little bit more. So I'm using Scotch brand painter's tape. You have to use Scotch brand. This will not take off my wallpaper. So I can put my tape on my wallpaper, take it off, it won't ruin it. And if you don't know, you can always test it. So take a piece, put it right on your wallpaper, leave it sit for a couple days, see if it really sticks, and try to take it off. And usually this stuff will not take off your wallpaper. So good stuff. Make sure you get the Scotch brand. Next, you really need good sandpaper. And I love these blocks. Very, very easy to use. You get the nice sharp edge on there. So I love these. You can kind of hold it here so you can sand your pieces very, very easily. X-Acto knife. Make sure you have a very sharp X-Acto knife with multiple blades. Utility knife also comes in handy. So if you need to cut something, get one of those. Rulers, gotta have good rulers. I love the metal rulers. Plastic ones are just fine. You know, when I go to the craft store, I check out every department, doesn't matter. These are going to be in the drawing section. So sometimes it's nice to have, especially this one for angles and things, you want to check those out. And you need a good square. So this is a nice metal square, and this is going to be good. We're going to build our windows in the corner here. So that's going to help keep everything straight. And of course, we can make sure our walls are nice and straight. Now for cutting trim, I love using this. It is so easy. It's a little pricey. It's about $40 on Amazon. I think this was about $36. But you can cut your trim in any angle and just one snip and it's done. So it makes it so easy. So if you're really into making miniatures, you want to continue to do dollhouses, make sure you get one of these. You can always use your utility knife, but this is so much better. Now for glue, I love the Grandmother Stover's glue for wallpaper. And I'm going to be using this for our wallpaper, and I'm going to be doing paper floors. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up 2 of these so I make sure I have enough. And this stuff is great. I do all of my paper miniatures, and I use this to glue them together because it's not going to wrinkle or fade my paper. So this is the best glue. So I got 2 of those. I got a little bit of stain for our shingles. Tacky glue is the best glue to assemble your dollhouse together. You want to stay away from wood glue because wood glue is yellow and it's going to dry yellow. This is going to dry clear. So good stuff to use, and it's very, very strong. Now for the shingles, you're going to need a special glue. This is the Beacon 3-in-1 craft glue. This is like an oil-based glue. It doesn't have any water in it. So otherwise, if you use tacky glue with your shingles, they're going to start to warp over time. So this is the glue to use for your shingles. It's really stinky. Might have to take our house outside to do this in a nice ventilated area. But if it says extremely flammable on it, this is the stuff you want. So having super glue around is always handy. I'm going to be gluing some spindles when I do my staircase, and this dries very, very quickly rather than the tacky glue. This is going to glue really, really fast, almost like hot glue, but better. For when our house is completely finished and we are decorating, I love to use Scotch Brand Museum Putty. This stuff is the best. We can put all of our pictures on the wall. Anything you want to put on the wall, anything you want to stick to the floor. Nothing is going to damage your wallpaper or your flooring. This stuff is great. You can take things on and off constantly and move things around and rearrange and redecorate, because that's what it's all about. We want to keep rearranging and redecorating. Can't keep everything the same. Having little clips is very, very nice. I got these at the dollar store, so you can glue things together and not have to sit and hold them. Having putty knives or popsicle sticks is good. So when we are putting our paste down on our wallpaper, we can really get into the grooves and keep it really nice and keep it one layer. I like to use small brushes for my glue. This is actually an old makeup brush. It's very, very, sturdy. Little angle on that. I love this. It's my favorite glue brush. So I always have designated glue brushes. I also have these tiny little glue sticks. These you find in the model section. They got these tiny little pads on the end. So those are good to get in those intricate little spots. So those are good to have on hand. And when we're doing our wallpaper and our floor, you got to have something to scrape those air bubbles out. So a scraper is really, really nice. If you're having trouble finding one of these, I like to use my quilting square. So if you're having trouble finding these, go ahead to the quilter section, get one of these, and that has that really nice sharp edge on there, so you can really push out those air bubbles so you can have a really nice finish for your wallpaper and your flooring, because we're going to be doing paper flooring. And sponge brushes, the old standby sponge rub, always nice to have around. This is good for gluing, painting, and especially for stains, so we're going to keep that on hand too. All right, my crafty dolls, we have everything we need to start building our dollhouse. I am so excited. And I just want to let you know that I have 3 separate episodes upcoming on flooring, wallpaper, and paint. So you do not want to miss those episodes. So make sure you are subscribed. And also, I'm really excited. Yesterday, I got my Real Good Toys package in the mail. So next episode, we are going to do a little unboxing. And I just got back from Hobby Lobby, and I got my Dollhouse Kit for $89.99, a huge discount, and of course some other things. So I'm going to open that kit up. We are going to get everything labeled and organized, and we are going to do our floor plan planning so we can wallpaper, paint, and do our flooring as we build our house. So thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next time. Bye.